Kira BTV info session. If you don't know anything about total solar eclipses or what to expect on Monday, April 8th, you're in exactly the right place. We have an incredible panel tonight that's going to give you a ton of information about the days leading up to and on the total solar eclipse. We're going to kick things off with Ellen, from our NASA EPSCoR representative from the University of Vermont. She's going to talk about all the science behind what a total solar eclipse is, what's happening up in space, and what we can experience here in Burlington, Vermont on that date. Next, Zach is going to talk all about the city preparedness plan, where folks will be parking, the tens of thousands of visitors that we anticipate coming that day, the road closures in Burlington that day, the safety precautions we've taken, and of course the importance of eclipse glasses. Then Zach and I are going to talk about all the city programming leading up to the event on April 8th, including our totality talks, which kick off a week from today right here in Contois Auditorium, as well as the amazing programming that other Burlington businesses and community partners are putting on. Then KJ and Zach are going to talk all about the official viewing sites. There are 6 of them all throughout Burlington and what you can expect at each of them. Jess and John are going to talk about where you can find all of that information after today and how to stay up to date. And they're also going to talk about our Totally Rad Totality swag and where you can purchase it. For those of you that are here tonight, right there in the back corner is we have t-shirts and sweatshirts and a whole bunch of other awesome stuff for sale. I'm going to take a few moments to just thank all the organizations and sponsors that have made all of this programming possible. The Echo Leahy Center for Lake Champlain, Hello Burlington, the University of Vermont, First Unitarian Universalist Church, Main Street Landing, Vermont International Film Foundation, Burlington Beer Company, Northfield Savings Bank, Patrick Leahy Burlington International Airport, Hotel Vermont, Courtyard Burlington Marriott, Hilton Garden Inn, Hilton Burlington Lake Champlain, our presenting media sponsor WCAX, and media sponsor 7 Days. And with that, we're going to get this night kicked off. Ellen, join me up here and tell us all about what it means to experience a total solar eclipse.
This way. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you so much for coming. I'm just going to go really brief through why eclipses happen and what's really special about this one, besides the fact that it's happening here. Oh. I think I might have just done a million slides, but there are 3 types of solar eclipses. The total eclipse, which is what's happening in April, that's the most dramatic one. Then we have the annular eclipse, where the moon does cover the center of the sun, but not the whole sun, giving you the ring of fire, and a partial eclipse, where we don't cover the whole sun at all. Now, the reason that we end up with these different types of eclipses all comes down to the moon and its orbit. So the moon has an elliptical orbit around Earth, which means sometimes it's going to be really close to us, so it looks pretty big. Sometimes it's going to be really far away from us, which means it's going to look smaller. And that difference in where the moon is in relation to us in that orbit gives us those annular and total eclipses. So when it's really far away from us and it looks smaller, it can't cover the whole sun. So we get an annular eclipse. But when it's closer to us in its orbit, it looks bigger and it does cover the whole sun, and we get the really cool total solar eclipse, which is what you're going to see on April 8th. Now, there it goes. It's just not stopping. Oh, wow, that was fixed immediately. And I guarantee I'm not the one who fixed that. Nice. So, these photos are all provided by Echo. So in October, we were actually able to view a partial annular eclipse. So we got an annular, but we didn't get the whole thing, or the most dramatic version. We only got partial coverage. Now, the reason that happens is because we need to be perfectly aligned in the exact right spot on the Earth to have the moon blocking the sun. If we're just a little bit higher above that line of the Earth and the sun, we're not in the right spot, and only half of the sun's going to be covered, or a bit of it's going to be covered. You need to be in exactly the right spot at exactly the right time to get the most dramatic effect. And that spot is called the path of totality. And you can see here for April 8th, Vermont is in the path of totality. If we zoom in on Vermont here, the blue line shows you the exact center. So it's right up near St. Albans and Swanton. Those folks are going to get the longest totality, or the longest time when this moon is completely blocking the sun. We down in Burlington are still in that red zone, which means we still get totality, and Burlington gets 3 minutes and 15 seconds, which is a really long time. So for that entire duration, the sun will be completely blocked by the moon. We're going to see this gorgeous corona because it's definitely going to be sunny and not cloudy at all. And if you're not in the red zone, then you're only going to get that partial eclipse, like what we had in October for the annular. Now, why are you doing this to me? We're going to get there. Okay. This is a sticky button, guys. So, I already said we just had an annular eclipse, and now we're about to have a total eclipse, and that might feel like a lot of eclipses, and you're right. This world map shows the rest of the eclipses to happen across Earth in the rest of the 2020s. So that's 10 eclipses in the next 6 years. That's kind of a lot. But why do we have eclipses? I'm so scared to push this button. Okay. Why do eclipses happen a lot in a decade but not in a year? So the moon revolves around the Earth every 27 days, or basically every month the moon passes around the Earth, right? But it doesn't block the sun every time. And that's because the moon's orbit is on a tilt compared to our orbit around the sun. So in order for the moon to actually block the sun, it has to do two things. First, it has to be positioned in its orbit between us and the sun. But second, its tilt has to align perfectly with our tilt to be on that same axis with the sun. This only happens twice a year, once when the moon is close to us and once when it's far. So twice a year we have the chance of getting a total eclipse and an annular eclipse. Please, okay. So the three must-haves for a total solar eclipse are: 1, it's got to be close to us in that orbit. 2, its tilt has to align perfectly with our tilt, so that sun, moon, earth axis is one flat line. And 3, you got to be lucky. You have to be in exactly the right space at the right time, which we are. Now, the last time this happened in the state of Vermont was in 1932, where the Northeast Kingdom got to see totality. I don't know the last time it happened in Burlington, but I'm safe to say centuries ago. The next time we'll get to experience this in Burlington is in 2106, so it doesn't happen a lot. Now, what's so special about this eclipse? First, the path. So if you look at this map of all the eclipses left to come this year, or this decade, you'll notice that a lot of them pass over the ocean, because most of Earth is covered by ocean, or over not-so-populated places, which means most of these are not going to be experienced by humans at all. This eclipse is going to pass over highly populated areas, Mexico and the US. Now, this will be the most watched natural phenomenon in history that we know of, because it's going to pass, just in the America, it's going to pass over the homes of over 31 million people. And that doesn't include the people traveling to it. That's just the lucky folks like us who walk outside and say, oh, hey, the sun's gone, and then go back home and do whatever we're going to do. The 2017 eclipse, which was our last total in the US, only crossed the homes of 12.25 million people. So already we have way more opportunity to view this. The second cool thing about this eclipse is what's happening to the sun right now. So the sun goes through an 11-year cycle of activity, and right now we are at our peak level of activity. Now, when you block the sun out, like maybe with the moon during an eclipse, you get to look at the outer corona. That's where all that cool stuff happens. That's where we see flares. That's where you get to actually view the activity of the sun. And for 3 minutes and 15 seconds on April 8th, we're going to get to look at that and see it with our bare eyes and at its highest activity ever for this cycle. And NASA scientists are thrilled about that. They're doing a bunch of research on very niche things. But if you want, you could also scan this QR code. If you have a smartphone and an internet connection, you can be a NASA scientist for a day and submit data from your eclipse experience as well. But thank you very much for bearing with all of that.
That was awesome. Thank you so much, Ellen. A terrific resource here, and I'm so glad you were here, because I could never explain any of that, nor do I know that. From here, we get to talk about bathrooms and traffic, which is much more interesting, and I'm more qualified to talk about. But I'm Zach Williamson with Burlington City Arts. We've been working on this event coming up on April 8th for months now. We're thrilled to be at this point where we can have all of us together talking to you and sharing what the plans are, and both the science and what's going to happen here in Burlington. Let me find this clicker, which you've made me now a little little leery of, but maybe. Maybe, hang on. There we go. No. Oh, great, cool. All right. So a lot of this information that we want to point out is on our website, which is at burlingtoneclipse.org, but we are happy to step through it today. A lot of people are wondering, obviously, how in the world is Burlington and the greater Burlington area preparing for an event of this size? So I want to talk about a few things here. One is the police and fire plans. So obviously, everyone in the region, and this isn't just happening in Burlington, as we saw on that map, it's happening throughout northern Vermont, is preparing for public safety. When you triple your size in a town, things can happen. We're not ready for that amount of people to be here. So I do want to tell everybody that we have been working very closely with Burlington Police and Burlington Fire. We have every available officer is going to be on duty and doing their jobs. They are around the city to both handle the events, and they'll be at specific sites where we are directing people to, and also throughout the city ready to respond to any calls for service. In addition, with fire, we have units that are assigned to certain sites, our viewing sites we'll be talking about, but we also have another whole 22 fire officials on their normal shifts. They'll be engaging the 4th ambulance in town. The normal 2-person crews on a fire truck will be made to 3-person crews so that they can respond to any kind of need across the city, assuming that it is going to be hard to get around. So right now, when multiple engine companies or trucks might come to a certain call, they'll assume that that's going to be harder to do on April 8th, and they'll be able to isolate and respond more effectively as units that are already in that neighborhood. So we're really paying close attention, working with Vermont Emergency Management and the Agency of Transportation, looking at modeling and what's going to happen, but we are feeling pretty good that if we see somewhere around 50,000 people here, we will be well prepared to handle that. That is twice as many, roughly speaking, as the last July 3rd event, and so that's a good number to be looking at. Above 50,000, it gets a little harder, but we still have the same plan intact. Some people are saying, well, can you scale up? But we are scaling up, assuming that we're going to have a large number of people in town. So we are ready for that, and we can certainly talk more about that if you're interested in the question and answer session. Specific to traffic and road closures, this map is available on our website as well. This map revolves around a few things. One is parking, and the other are pedestrians. We assume that a lot of people are walking, and we encourage everybody to walk or bike. Certainly if you live in town and you can do that, that is great. We know people who don't live in town, obviously you need to drive. So to that end, we are closing College Street from Center Street down to the waterfront. That will become a pedestrian zone. Cars will not be on that street, and we'll really be encouraging people to navigate from the downtown to the waterfront and back using College Street. Speaking of Battery Street, we are closing that from Main Street all the way up to its end at Sherman Street, and then it continues there towards North Ave to North Street. That is similar to a marathon closure. What we're doing there is it allows us to move our shuttle bus system, which I'll get to in a minute, move those shuttle buses and other emergency vehicles down that corridor and be able to get from the waterfront out to the New North End and Old North End as well. It is an inconvenience. We do realize that. People who live in the New North End, you still can get to the downtown core or where you want to go by taking North Ave to North Street. That is definitely the preferred route if you're coming from the North End. Down at the waterfront, we'll be closing Lake Street. So that whole section from 1 Main heading down Lake Street towards the skate park and the boat launch, that'll be closed as well. That is again for pedestrian safety. We are expecting tens of thousands of people down at the waterfront, and we want to make that a really safe area for everyone to walk and not have a lot of motor vehicle traffic in there. I'll stop there for a minute to say, if you live in these areas or you're affected in these areas, we have been in touch with most people in the Lake Street area. You can get a permit so you can still get to your point of work or your residence. And certainly if you have other business in that area, do reach out to us and we can work with you to gain access to that. So it's not a complete hard closure, it's just general traffic will not be allowed. That also is the same for if you are affected by any of these other closures. You still can get access if you live there and you have a reason to go there, we can make that happen, but the overriding message is it's not open for general traffic. Once we go towards our park and ride on Route 127, as I mentioned, Park Street is closed. That becomes a two-directional street so that we can run shuttle buses up and down Park Street to connect the Beltline with the waterfront. Again, if you live there, it's not that you have to stay put the whole day, although we encourage you to. You can get on that road. A couple things to know. One, drive slowly and use your flashers. And two, recognize that there's oncoming traffic in both directions. So you're very used to only having southbound traffic on Park Street. There will also be northbound emergency vehicles and shuttle buses traveling up the right-hand side of that road. So do keep that in mind for sure. With Park Street closed, there are the contributing streets that then become affected. So that includes Pearl Street. I can't read all the labels, but all those other streets, Sherman Street, Poplar, and Myrtle, also get closed because there are one-way streets off of that interact with Park Street as well. Moving from there to the Beltline, we really did spend a lot of time looking at where can we park a lot of cars. It is different than July 3rd or other holiday events where we can park cars at the Gutterson Fieldhouse. UVM is in session, and there's still a lot of students there, and UVM also has their own programming. And also, it would be pretty hard to close Main Street on a Monday. That isn't typically a holiday. So we turned it all on its head, and we looked at a marathon closure from when the marathon used to run out on Route 127, and we flipped it so that we are closing Route 127, and that is a longer closure because there's some setup and tear down out there. So that is closed from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Will be the entirety of Route 127 from Plattsburgh Avenue to Manhattan Drive, and the new North Avenue exit as well will be closed. And we are going to park a lot of cars out there. So a lot of press just in the past couple days has been about Coventry and the fish show, and they were planning to park cars in fields, and it rained. This is April 8th, and we, A, don't have that many fields to park cars in, and B, any place that isn't paved is not going to be a great place to put a lot of cars. So we were looking for hard surface that we could park a lot of visitors, and it became Route 127 became the clear winner in that choice. We did, during COVID, shut that down a couple times to pass out food and other items, so it has been done before, and as I said, the marathon has done it as well. We're working with Green Mountain Transit and Premier Coach to shuttle people back to the waterfront, and those shuttles will be running from noon until 8 p.m. So if you park out there, or you have guests, well, you don't need to park out there, but if you know people coming to Burlington, it is a great option to park out there. It's $30 for a car, up to 7 people to park out there. That includes your shuttle bus ride to and from. We will have services out there, including bathrooms and staff, so it won't be a free-for-all. We'll be parking people orderly, and we have a bus stop every quarter mile, and plenty of traffic control people to make that a safe experience for everybody, for sure. Really, the biggest issue is moving all those people back down to the waterfront, and back becomes the bigger end of that challenge in reality. In terms of traffic getting out there, I'm very aware it's not the easiest place to get to if you're just arriving in Burlington from Boston or somewhere. You obviously can get there from the Winooski coming up Riverside. You can also get there from the Colchester side, entering at the North Avenue entrance. And of course, if you come off the interstate and down Main Street, we are encouraging people, and there'll be variable message signs there, to come down Main Street to go to Willard Street. You take Willard Street to Pearl Street, come down Pearl Street to Champlain Street. By then you've toured all of Burlington almost, and you'll get to Route 127. So if you are traveling on Willard or Pearl in that pre-eclipse time, it will be more crowded. We are directing a lot of traffic in your direction, so please be mindful of that as well. And as a reminder, Pearl Street does close at Champlain because it dead ends into Battery Street right there. A couple other things about road closures and traffic. Well, more about traffic. There is obviously a big concern about the interstates and Route 7. We are not a place in the country that has a massive interstate highway system, so most models do show that if we see a large number of vehicles in the entirety of northern Vermont, that I-89 from exit 10 to the islands will get more crowded. It is obviously not built for thousands of vehicles to be traveling on that road at one time, so we will start to see backups on the interstate, and certainly getting off the interstate onto Williston Road and into Main Street could start to get backed up. The state and our data does show that the arrival is more sporadic. Some people are coming Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Different hotels had slightly different rooming requirements in terms of a 2-night stay, a 3-night stay, or is it Sunday, Monday, is it Saturday, Sunday, Monday? So we don't think it's gonna be as bad leading up to the eclipse. It's the after the eclipse, which is a little bit more concerning. It could be a mass exodus, although as you'll hear from us, we are encouraging people to hang out in Burlington and eat dinner here and support this community. So we're doing our best to diffuse the exit strategy, but it could start to get a little bit more congested following the eclipse, potentially. The line that we all are using is arrive early and stay late. So if you have friends coming, encourage them to come early and encourage them to leave Tuesday. It's going to be a better experience for sure. It is not a day to try to get anywhere in a hurry. It will be challenging. Another big thing, obviously, is parking. We did touch on that with Route 127. More in the downtown core, the Marketplace Garage and the downtown garage both have special event rates for that day. They are $30 to park in a garage or a surface lot. That's an unending stay, so you could park there all day for $30. Street parking and kiosk parking is its normal Monday rates, but to park in a garage is $30 or in a surface lot. And then also the parking folks are putting on their own production on the top floor, so the upper deck, if you want to park up there, and that does ensure you close parking and a great view. And if you're someone who wants to take pictures or have a telescope you want to set up, it's a great place to go. You can go to the top of the downtown garage is really the sweetest spot. So that costs $100, and to go to the Marketplace Garage is not as awesome, so it costs $60. We do have people who do want to come and just get a great shot of this event and experience it with ease, so that is a great option for a lot of people. Awesome. I'm just making sure I didn't think of anything else. Glasses are on here too. Yes, I'm talking about glasses in the slide also. So we have, we, along with many other people, have Eclipse glasses. I'm fond of ours. They are branded Obscura BTV with the date, and they have our great skyline and the Adirondacks across the lake. These are solar eclipse glasses, and I encourage you all to get a pair either here or elsewhere. The city ordered 50,000, so we are ready to help everyone get a pair. They also are available at other places. But just to speak to the importance of these, so this, if you've never worn them, this is like wearing, well, it's not gonna help you if you've never worn this either, but a welding mask, which many people haven't worn either. It is completely dark. Like if I put these on, I cannot see anything out of them. That is surprising to some people. So you will not put these on and walk around from partial eclipse through totality all the way to partial eclipse. You will not be able to see a thing. They are only needed when you are looking directly at the sun. But that is important. It's not a side thing. It is really true that if you, with the sun obscured, it does create a much more powerful ray, and it will damage your eyes. And it's not something that you'll feel right away, like something flew into your eye and you're like, ow, but it will affect your vision long term. So it is honestly a safety mechanism and required practice that you put these on if you were going to look right at the sun like that. Like I can see that light actually, which is pretty cool, with these glasses on, but you can't see anything else. So if they don't feel real comfortable, you're not gonna be wearing them all the time. The other thing is that you don't need them, right? If you are walking across a park and looking down and it's amber colored and getting darker, you don't need these on because you're not looking directly at the sun. So it's a cumbersome moment, and you need to just make sure that if you do pick your head up and look right at the sun, that you're wearing these glasses. And then if you're doing other business about or talking to people, you don't need them on because it would be really challenging actually. That is important. The only time that you don't need these on is during the totality period, and we will make an effort at all of our sites to identify when that safety period is, but it is okay once you literally can only see the corona of the sun and you don't see any, it's a perfect circle on top of each other. There's not a little sun peeking out on the side. That is a safe time to take these off and really enjoy the experience. You can see the complete eclipse with that ring around it. The temperature is gonna drop. It's gonna be quiet, we hope. Very dark. It's going to be odd, right? We don't usually expect total darkness at 3:26 in the afternoon. So I encourage everybody, no matter what you're doing, to take the time to experience this in this truly once-in-a-life opportunity. It's gonna be really special. The sunset also is all the way around you, I believe, and that is really special as well. The nightlife comes out, so take your time, be somewhere special, be somewhere that you can enjoy this and see it, and really have your glasses and be ready for a great time, because it's not to be missed. People call it life-changing, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. I've never seen it, but it tells you something when so many people travel to see this event. So I'm really looking forward to it, and I encourage you all to check it out. One more thing about the glasses, we are selling these here today. We're also selling them at the BCA Center right next door on Church Street. We're selling them at the Miller Center in the New North End, working with Parks and Rec. And we're selling them at the Healthy Living in South Burlington and Williston as well. So you can pick your Eclipse glasses up at all those locations. One other note, actually, every NPA, Neighborhood Planning Association in Burlington, got 500 pairs of these. So it was up to them how they distributed them, and you feel free to get in touch with your NPA team and see if they have any available for your neighborhood. We also have given kits to all the NPAs with posters and educational materials, including these glasses, so that if you do choose to stay in your neighborhoods and have an activation and a viewing party in your local neighborhood, we encourage you to do so, and some resources are there for you as well, if you're not looking to join us in one of our official viewing sites. Great. I think we now talk. I think Sam's going to talk about Charlie Talks.
Great. So now we're going to talk about the programming leading up to the Eclipse. So this is city programming that is happening in the weeks and days leading up to the Eclipse. So as I mentioned earlier, we're kicking things off next Thursday with our Totality Talks series. So we have 3 UVM professors speaking on 3 different topics related to the Eclipse right here in Contois Auditorium at 6:30 p.m. We encourage everyone to come and check those out. All of the talks sound super interesting. I'm really excited to check them out myself. We have John Perry kicking it off next week with big discoveries made possible during eclipses. Then we have Lewis the following weeks with socio-cultural dimensions of eclipses. And then wrapping it up is Paul Deslin's Omens from Above, a curious history of eclipses and signs. So they all sound really interesting, and encourage folks to come check those out. Those are free in here in Contois Auditorium at 6:30 p.m. The first one is on March 28th. The second is on April 4th, and the final is on April 5th. This clicker. Then on Saturday, April 6th and Sunday, April 7th, we are hosting a special Obscura BTV market. So some of you here in Burlington might be familiar with the BTV markets we run in the summer and winter. This is a special version of that market we're holding at the Hilton down on Lake Champlain. We're going to have about 20 vendors there, as well as a variety of artists who are hosting a lot of works. That is 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. It's free for everyone to come check out. This is an opportunity to showcase some of the amazing makers and artists that we have here in Burlington and their special Eclipse wares. I'm going to hand it back to Zach for a few moments.
We're tag teaming. Yeah. Awesome. We also are really thrilled to present on Saturday night. So the Eclipse is not to be missed, but this equally is not to be missed. We're so lucky to have Zoe Keating reside here in Vermont. We have worked with Zoe a couple different times at the Unitarian Church at the top of Church Street, but it turns out it's a perfect venue for her and some great collaborators as well. So she is going to be performing with her cello and electronic effects, a totally out of this world program that we're really excited about. And then we are pairing her with Roost World, who's an electronic musician. Will open that set at, he actually starts at 7:30, and the event starts a little bit after 8. So Roost World will be playing some music when everyone enters. And then Alex Reeves and VanishWorks will be doing projections, and as you can kind of get a sense in that picture that was from Highlight a couple years ago. He projects all over the back wall using real live footage plus found footage. It will all have an Eclipse, angle to it, but it is going to be really a great event. You can get tickets to that. That is a ticketed event, and you can get tickets to that at burlingtoneclipse.org. I encourage you to get your tickets soon, because it's going to be really, really excellent. Also on Saturday night, can do it. Also on Saturday night, right here in Contois, we're working with VTIF, and we're showing a classic, the Stanley Kubrick 2001: A Space Odyssey. I mean, why not? You got to do it. So we are. That'll be right in here. If you have seen it before, you should come back and see it again. If you haven't seen it yet, this is a great film. It's really pretty fun. It is a free show, but we are encouraging people to reserve their tickets in advance. You can do that on our website as well. We may run out of seats, so we just want to make sure that people who want to see it can get in. We also are thrilled to be working with Burlington Beer Company, and they have a special Obscura beer, so you can get a beer, sit down, and catch this great movie. It's going to be a really great night. Also on Saturday's a busy day. At BCA right now, we have a great exhibit by Brian Drurer called Celestial Skies. You can see that exhibit for free whenever the gallery is open, Wednesday through Saturday. And on Saturday, April 6th at 6 o'clock on our second floor space, we're going to take an in-depth look at that exhibit. And Brian Drurer will be there along with Tina Skaja and Claire Pascal. They will be talking about different angles of photography as it relates to eclipses and solar work, and also an element of light pollution and how it's harder to see stars and planets out there with all the illuminated buildings we have and lights around our cities. So it is a really cool event that is also free as well. I think that's back to you. Is that you? Yeah.
You might have skipped one.
Did I?
No? Okay, and then we're moving to Sunday programming. So on Sunday, we have Moonflix Matinee. This is, again, in collaboration with our partners, VTIF. They are going to be showing a series of short films. So they're going to start from the silent era and work all the way up to present-day Pixar movies. These shorts include the 1926 Moonland, 1989's A Grand Day Out, featuring Wallace and Gromit, among many others. So this is going to be on Sunday at 3 p.m. at Main Street Landing, and this is free and open to the public. A great family-friendly activity for folks to check out on Sunday. Also on Sunday, right here in Contois Auditorium, we're having two showings of this. This is A Song to the Moon. It's at 6:30 p.m. and 8:30 p.m. There will be two original compositions to go along with a silent film. The original compositions are done by Burlington-based composer Randall Pierce. This is going to be a truly incredible experience. We really encourage people to come check this out. This is a ticketed event, so you can go to burlingtoneclipse.org to purchase your tickets today. Next, I want to highlight on our website, burlingtoneclipse.org, we have a full calendar of all the incredible events that the Burlington community is putting on and around the day of the eclipse. So ECHO has a ton of programming, including a special exhibit right now for kids talking all about space and rockets. The Pinery and the Get Down are doing a special 3-day series of their food truck pop-up in the South End. Vermont Comedy Club has a ton of shows coming in. Santiago's is doing special events all weekend. Vermont Paint and Sip are doing eclipse-themed paint and sip classes, and many, many more. So we encourage folks to check out our website to see all that the Burlington community is doing to welcome and celebrate this once-in-a-lifetime event. Zach and KJ are now going to talk about the official viewing sites for the eclipse.
Excellent. So now we get to actual Monday, April 8th. And it is going to be an awesome day. I want to just start out actually by pointing out, before we get to viewing sites, on April 8th there are obviously a few changes to some pillar daily activities that happen here in Burlington. One, Green Mountain Transit, I should have talked about this when we were talking about traffic, but Green Mountain Transit will be running their normal Monday schedule up until noon, and then between 12 noon and 6 p.m. they run to a one bus an hour schedule from noon to 6 p.m. out of the downtown transit center. Then they resume, hopefully, their normal Monday evening service starting at 6 o'clock. We also know that a lot of different things are closed, and that has been an interesting balance while we're welcoming thousands of people to Burlington, and then we also have some things that are being closed. So we obviously, I think you all know, Burlington schools are closed. Many other schools in the area are closed. UVM is doing an alternative instruction day and has amazing programming up on their campus as well. We also know that the Ethan Allen Homestead is closed, so if you had plans to watch the eclipse out there, you should change them. They just don't have the staff and the infrastructure at this time of year to welcome a lot of people to their area. City Market is closed on that day, both locations, so get your grocery shopping done before Monday, and the YMCA is also closed. Additionally, Echo, which is doing amazing programming, is by reservation, I think the whole weekend, so you should, if you do want to go to Echo, you should book your time slot now. Additionally, the Green Mountain Club has asked us to ask people to resist the desire to climb to the highest peak to see this event. It is just too early to be out on trails, and if you've been on trails in the spring before, you know they get muddy, and then when there's a big mud puddle, people walk around it, and it gets to be a bigger puddle and a bigger puddle, so it actually does tremendous damage to the trail network if you're out there when the ground is this soft, and so they are encouraging people to not try to access their trail system during the eclipse. Getting to the day of here in Burlington, we are really excited to really focus on our amazing parks here in Burlington. There's no better place to be, to hold a lot of people and see this experience, and so you will keenly notice that all of our official viewing sites are in parks. That also is a big ask. It is before, it is early April, so there could be snow on the ground. We're hoping for the best, but it is a big lift for everybody for sure, but we're really excited about it. We are planning on welcoming thousands of people to the Burlington waterfront. It is inevitable. It is the place that we will be drawn to, we assume, with the lake there and the eclipse. So the eclipse is in the southwest kind of corner, and it is going to be quite a sight down there. So we will have at all of our places merchandise booths where you can get glasses as well as our other eclipse merchandise. We'll also have extra restrooms at all those sites, and we will have staff at all these sites as well. At Waterfront Park, we'll have a small stage over by the boat launch. At 1 o'clock, we're thrilled to have Micah Helly there. At 2 o'clock, Allie T and her band are coming up from southern Vermont and getting an early start so they can get here. And then from 2 to 3:15, she plays, and then we purposely at all of our sites go quiet from about 3:15 to about 3:45. That is to really get ready for totality and get to experience it. All this entertainment is really not about, the main event is the eclipse happening in the sky. We just are really aiming to make all these experiences enjoyable and pleasant and highlight some artists while we're doing it. So this is not a concert. It is really about creating a great vibe in the park, and so all these performers will be doing that. So we do go quiet for the eclipse, and then right out of totality, DJ Kwame, you may know him from 95 XXX, will be spinning tunes from 3:35 till about 5 o'clock. We also are thrilled to work with our presenting media sponsor, WCAX. They will be there hosting the show up until 3 o'clock in the park, and then they switch over and do a live broadcast on their channel from 3 and into the evening as well. And we'll have a lot of great food trucks there as well. So I think Maple Creamy will be there. If you have a Maple Creamy, solar glasses, and the sun is obscured, it is sure to be a great time. Over in, one other thing about that is we have a very distributed sound system, so you could be on the southern section by Echo and hear everything that you want to hear, and you could also be all the way up to the boat launch. So we're using the entirety of Waterfront Park. At Battery Park, just up the hill, we're thrilled to have Disco Phantom there, and then All Night Boogie Band plays. They are a great band from UVM and has tremendous success, and we've worked with them a couple times, so we're thrilled to have All Night Boogie Band there. They play right up until totality, and then Disco Phantom returns after totality. Further down, so Battery Street is available for viewing. The western lanes will be closed, so we're going to divide that road right in half, keep 2 lanes for shuttle bus travel on the eastern side, closer to the hotel, and on the grass side, on the west side, will be for people to gather, and we're thrilled to welcome Jake Liu out there doing an acoustic set right down by Main Street Landing on Battery Street. And of course, we'll have merch, bathrooms available as well. I think you were going to talk about Oak Ledge, right? Sure.
Oh, you're going to have to make the clicker go because you know I'll skip it ahead a million times. Hi there. My name is KJ Doyle. I am actually with Parks and Recreation and Waterfront. On this team, I'm sort of the one that's really lucky to talk to you a little more about other parks through town that are going to be offering both programming and just having accessibility. We're really excited about Oak Ledge Park. We have a great deal more easy parking until it is gone, so we have more ADA spots there as well as downtown. I know we had Peace, correct? Peace parking lot down by the waterfront will be 100% ADA. But other than that, there are ADA parking spots spread throughout the city. We have been promoting Oak Ledge as a great place to experience some accessibility features. We have light sound devices that have been made by a team at Harvard. They convert light to sound, which is very, very cool. And we also have, and after, if you'd like to come check it out, we have a guide from NASA. It's a Braille tactile guide that NASA provided that speaks to a lot of the things that Ellen walked you through. What the eclipse path will be like, how and why eclipses happen. So that will be available, and there's also an absolutely bananas cool playground that is fully accessible at Oak Ledge. So we're excited to have that open. There will be bathrooms available, there will be merchandise available, same with Letty Park as well. Definitely don't have programming, but we do have the bathrooms available. And you can go inside and visit our staff inside to get merchandise if you'd like. Click it. Awesome, there's Perkins. Perkins Pier will have parking available. It will be done just like the rest of the city through Park Mobile, and that will hopefully fill up early so that we can get people off the roads. So if you have folks coming in that want to be at the waterfront parked and have accessibility without being all the way down there, it's a great place to come early. Roosevelt's, I'm very excited to tell you about Roosevelt. Roosevelt is a community, family-friendly event. It's going to be a lot of fun. We often have events in Roosevelt that cater to all the North End families, and this one is no different. I'm sorry, I can't read there unless I'm reading here. So to go through that very quickly for you, live streamed events, we do have that under a tent at Roosevelt on a very large screen TV that folks will be able to watch and learn. I have some space-related craft activities, obstacle course, yard games, all sorts of fun stuff for all the kids in the neighborhood. We have a bounce house, which will be like walking on the moon. We're hoping kids will feel that way. We'll also have a merch booth and bathrooms available on site. Miss Vermont 2023 will be joining us there as well. We have telescopes available that are being provided by the ONE Arts Academy. We're very excited. They're also bringing more of their gifted from Ward 2 and 3 glasses. So we'll have a lot available for the folks in the neighborhood. I think that's about all I wanted to share with you. If you have any questions, you're always welcome to email me at the Parks Department, and I'm happy to answer. Thank you.
Flip the thing for me. Hello, I'm John Flanagan. I'm the Communications Director at Burlington City Arts, and part of the...
You want to talk about that?
The viewing site at City Hall Park. Like Zach said, arrive early, leave... Stay late. Yeah. So our programming in City Hall Park that is designed to allow people to linger a little bit longer in Burlington. So we're going to activate that with DJ crowd control at 2:15, and again at 3:45 after totality. And then we're going to party with the Moondogs, I believe a UVM band. Appropriate enough, Moondogs, at 5, and it'll be a great place with food trucks, and yeah, so hoping to keep that going. You can learn more about that exact programming on our website, which you may have heard is burlingtoneclipse.org. Yeah, to backtrack a little bit, we've approached this event from the beginning a little bit differently than we approach our normal big events like Highlight, our New Year's event, or Festival of Fools in the summer. With those events, we are actively trying to get people to come and engage with our programming. This is different in that we know people are coming. We have a built-in audience. So it's more about accommodating those people and informing them, informing visitors, but also residents, hence what we're doing here and the postcards you hopefully received in the mail. But virtually all of the information we're presenting here tonight is available on our website. So there you can, like Zach said, you can download maps of road closures. There's an interactive map of all the viewing sites that Zach and KJ just went over, and then there's information on safety glasses, Eclipse glasses and viewing safety, where to get all of that, and then there's FAQs. Obviously there's a lot of questions and a lot of information to cover. We tried to cover as much as possible, so you can find out things like, should you bring a drone? The answer is no. Should you bring a dog? The answer is if it's well behaved. Or should you bring a bike, which is yes, definitely, rather than your car. So yes, please consult all of those, and if there's anything that isn't answered on there and that we can't answer now, you can email us. A lot of the information on the site, we're currently in the process of transitioning over to our app, which is the BCA Events app. You can get that at Apple or Google. You can download it right now. It's free. Right now it has the highlight New Year's Eve branding on it, but in the next coming weeks, days really, we'll be transferring the Obscura branding onto that. And yeah, that'll be a great tool because it allows us to send out push notifications, so any up-to-the-minute pieces of information that we need to communicate to a large group of people. That's one way to do it. Another way to do that is through VT Alert. We definitely recommend registering for VT Alert. You can sign up for phone calls, emails, text messages through there, and hopefully we won't need to send many, if any at all, alerts, but it's just a good tool to have for any emergencies or road closure infos, things like that. And you can also stay informed by signing up for our newsletter, the Obscura BTV newsletter, which again you can do on our website. I also recommend that you follow Burlington City Arts, Love Burlington, Parks Rec, Waterfront, and DPW on Instagram. That's another great tool for us to communicate with all of you in real time. And again, if there's anything that not answered tonight or on the website, you can email us at eclipse@burlingtonvt.gov. That goes to, I think, all of us. So one of us should be able to answer your question. And for any press inquiries, you can either go there or email me directly at jflanagan@burlingtoncityarts.org. My email's on our website. So that kind of covers the comm stuff, and I want to hand it off to my colleague Jess Dudley, who will talk about our excellent swag.
Thanks, Sean. Do you want switching it? Sweet, thanks. Hi, everyone. My name is Jess Dudley. I'm the marketing manager for Business Workforce Development. I'm so thrilled to be a part of this team. I feel like we should give them a round of applause of all the work they've done. Yeah. I have the best part of the evening, our fashion show. John, team. No, I'm just kidding, actually. But I am fortunate enough to talk about the merch tonight. We have an incredible in-house designer that I'm gonna shout out. Our design director for Burlington City Arts, Ted Olson. He's up in the chairs up there. I'd like to give him a round of applause. Yeah, thank you. Ted designed our amazing Obscura BTV branding for this incredible program. And you're seeing all that reflected up on the screen. This Obscura BTV branding can be found on sweatshirts, t-shirts, both youth and adult, the glasses, postcards, commemorative posters, magnets, stickers, and yo-yos. And most of that is all available for purchase tonight. A little background here, a collaborative story between us and New Duds, who is printing our apparel merchandise and the commemorative posters. New Duds is a Colchester-based print design business. Tori Value, who is the co-founder, he actually was a screen instructor for Burlington City Arts Studios back in 2010. So kind of a full circle moment here. We're really fortunate to be able to partner with a local printer. Another example of a collaboration with our merch, it's a bit of a twofold story. Our Obscura BT website, which we've said is burlingtoneclipse.org, was designed and created by Eternity, which maybe some of you have heard about them, but they're a web designer based here in Burlington. Mike Lannon is the founder. His partner and wife, Molly Lannon, owns CW Creative. It's a print business out of Barrie, Vermont. They printed our postcards. So such a fun opportunity for us to be able to partner with a lot of local businesses for our merchandise, which is amazing. Thank you, Ted. And like Zach and the others have said, it is available for purchase right now. The Eclipse glasses are $3. They're available here. They're also available at Burlington City Arts during gallery hours. We are opening up a pop-up shop on Church Street, Northfield Savings Bank, starting April 1st. And then they'll also be available at all of our Obscura BTV locations, viewing sites, etc., for you to purchase. So happy totality and get your totality swag.
I know. Yeah. All right, then the last part of the evening tonight, now that you've heard all of the incredible stuff happening, I'm sure you're eager to find out how you can help support it. We are looking for volunteers to help support a number of the Eclipse events happening that weekend and the day of. If you're interested in volunteering your time and helping us out with all of the program we have going on, you can sign up on our website, burlingtoneclipse.org, and we will connect with you on times and jobs that we're looking for volunteers for. Again, we're trying to make this experience as welcoming and festive as possible for Burlingtonians and visitors, so we appreciate anyone who can give us their time and help volunteer with this event. With that, we are closing the info session part of this evening and moving to questions. So now, if anyone in the audience has any questions we haven't covered tonight, if you just raise your hand, Andrew will come over with the wireless mic, and we can attempt to answer those questions.
I was curious whether you're going to close the bike path for bikes during this period?
Not intentionally closing the bike path during this period, although we do anticipate a lot of people to be down on the waterfront and along the waterfront, so I would plan on the bike path being congested that day. Any other questions?
Are you going to have bike corrals to park the bikes and secure them?
We're hoping to partner with Local Motion on that, so we are working with them currently to find bike corrals and make that possible. Wait, Andrew in the back, I think there's a question.
There's two questions on the live stream. One is, if you pay a monthly fee to park in the downtown garage, will your parking be affected? And where can I find information about the drone rules?
Great. The drone rules, you can find that on our FAQ on our website, burlingtoneclipse.org. We have a whole section on the FAQs about drones specifically. And the first question, I believe, was about parking at the downtown garage. I don't know the answer.
I don't think we know the answer to that question about if you do have a monthly pass, will your pass work on this day? I imagine it will, but to be safe, I would contact parking services. They will definitely be able to answer that question for you. I don't want to give false information and have someone get in trouble. So I would look into that with parking services.
We'll get that on the site.
And we'll find out that information as well and add it to the FAQ on the website once we have that. More questions? Yeah.
Somebody wants you to explain the Obscura BTV name.
John is going to take this one for us.
I'm responsible for the Obscura BTV name. Being the comms director of Burlington City Arts, I felt it was important to ground the name in the arts world. So I was thinking about the camera obscura and the phenomenon of the moon obscuring the sun. Yeah, people seem to like it. I hope.
We have another question up here.
What about Callahan Park, South Park? Is that going to be covered?
That is not being actively programmed, but it is certainly a spot that you could watch the eclipse from.
I have two questions, and one is I work downtown, so I rely on downtown parking most of the time, so, and you probably don't know the answer to that yet, but I would like to, if you could also include that in the FAQs when it comes up on whether that free parking pass will still be valid, that would be great. And my other question is about security and whether or not Burlington Police is working with state police or private security in order to make sure that everything goes smoothly.
Yeah, so security is a big factor, obviously. So yes, we do have private security. We're really pleased to be working with both Green Mountain Concert Services and Chocolate Thunder Security at all of our sites. So any of the official viewing sites that we talked about have a minimum of 2 people. The bigger ones have upwards of 6 or 8 private security that will work closely with Burlington Police and Burlington Fire and EMS as well. So we are hoping for a very safe and secure, and as we said, a really hospitable experience for everybody. I did already get a response from Parking Services, so you can park, if you have a monthly pass, your pass will still be valid on that day, so you can park there as a person who, assuming you have a monthly pass and you're not paying every day, you will be able to park in your garages as usual. The high school pass does not qualify for that because there is no school that day, but any normal pass to a Burlington garage will still work. Correct. If you work for a downtown business, though, we are securing some off-site parking that is within walking distance, and we are happy to work with you. You can contact us and potentially have a spot at another location for you that would, and really actually free up a spot for someone to pay the $30, that's not you, to park in a garage, so, and you would park elsewhere, is something that we'd be interested in offering so that we can honestly make some revenue off of the parking from visitors and not from residents.
Do you anticipate being able to see the eclipse from like Church Street, like in the center of Church Street?
Yeah, so our team actually got to do a really fun experiment last September when we found out exactly where the sun was going to be. It was going to be the same place in the sky as it will be on April 8th, so we all dispersed across all of Burlington and checked out various sites and looked to see where the sun was and if that would be a good viewing location or not. Unfortunately, Church Street, a lot of the buildings kind of block the view. So Church Street itself is not going to be a great spot, but City Hall Park, you can see it from there. It's just the buildings where the sun is going to be that time of day. Church Street is a little obstructed, so City Hall Park would be the best option for right downtown. Yeah, it's in so I pointed that way, but I didn't mention the direction. Yes, it'll be in the southwest kind of corner of the sky over the lake.
Southwest coming this way or that way or?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that question was about the direction of the sun that day. So we decided it's in the southwest corner going northeast. I did. Any other questions? Well, if you think of questions later on, again, you can check out our website, burlingtoneclipse.org. There is our email there to reach out to us, eclipse@burlingtonvt.gov, and we can answer any further questions you have. Thank you all for joining us tonight, and happy totality.